Organic.
Hello,
Hi!
everyone in Katribu. I am Dina Ventura.
And I'm Francine Marquez.
And
welcome
welcome to
to PairFect. Hello, hello.
Match.
Yes, because great minds think alike.
So brown.
Yeah, I just wanted to wear something organic today.
Diba? Let's
But
go
so
back to
natural,
Earth.
neutral.
Mhm.
Which brings us to our guest today.
Yes.
Such an amazing woman. A story of survival, success, sustainability. So it's better to hear her story.
Yes, from
And
her
so
own lips.
without putting too much words in my mouth already, we'd like to welcome the founder and CEO of One Earth Organics, Miss Tiffany Short.
Welcome, Tiffany.
Hello,
Tiff
Hi
for
Tiff.
everyone.
short.
Yes.
Hi Miss Dina. Hi Miss Francine. How are you?
Hello, we're good.
Nice
we're
to
good.
see you. You're looking so gorgeous.
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
yes.
I am super nervous.
Don't be.
Don't be. This is just a conversation. We just want to know, to hear more about your story, how you put up One Earth Organics, and how it's become such a huge success now, diba?
Yes,
Lalo na sa
yes.
pandemic.
And as always, we begin our first question.
With
How did 2021 start for you?
Wow. To be honest, 2021 started as, I guess, a year that's so hopeful and very promising and full of gratitude for me. To be able to survive 2020 and be here in front of you right now, and of course the viewers, it's already an achievement itself. And again, 2020 has been difficult is an understatement to begin with, but things are looking up, and I do want to continue to be hopeful for the rest of the year. So, yeah, and I guess hopeful is actually the right word.
it's a good way to start, diba?
Yes, yes.
Positive thoughts and hope.
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
But did your business stop for a bit during the pandemic, and how did you continue, diba? A lot of businesses did.
Thank you for that question, Messina. To be honest with you, yes, since we're part of retail, we partnered with retail chains, and during the lockdown back in March, of course, our stores are also included, and we were greatly affected. We didn't have revenue for a few months, and I remember myself crying on my social media. That was July. It's still on my IGTV. I was crying in front of everyone because I didn't know what to do. I was, like thinking of so many ways to pivot the business. And I kept thinking about not just my son, but our employees, my partners. Of course, I wanted to do better in terms of my partnership or our partnership with the retail chains, and so it was a roller coaster, right? It was 10 times more difficult than your usual business problems, and I guess we only saw progress. We saw the light. It was back in September, October, and we did. If it's also not for my partners, every week we would tell ourselves like, okay, we can do this. We got to go through another month. Like 5 more months until 2020 ends, and again, it's everything was just mainly for the employees and my partners, of course, the clients. So yeah, it was difficult.
But now you can smile, no?
Yeah.
But Tiff, tell us a little bit about One Earth Organics first. What do you do? What products do you make?
One Earth, I always say, One Earth Organics, it's just, it's never about selling beauty products. One Earth Organics, we have our organic skincare line, organic products to address, women's beauty problems. But having to organically beautify people is just one of the many reasons that we have One Earth Organics. Another mission of the brand is, of course, empowering women, not just to have that confidence in themselves, but also to be able to give business opportunities. And because we have this business packages for One Earth Organics, so it's mainly empowering women. And I always say that through the brand story, of course, we want to keep inspiring a lot of people. And lastly, we want to be able to always contribute to the environment and of course, help in terms of sustainability. And yeah, so that's mainly the purpose and the mission of the brand.
Okay.
What kind of product lines do you have? You
Um,
mentioned
we
serum, among other things.
Yes,
Beauty.
yes.
Okay.
Very targeted actually. The products are multifunctional. We didn't want to produce, a lot of products. Let's say, for moisturizing. We made sure that each and every product is specific to help solve a woman's beauty concern or a woman's beauty problem. So we have soaps. We have 4 soaps, but all multifunctional. We have serums. We have oils. Of course, we have our bestseller, our underarm therapy set. We have deos. We have body scrubs. Again, the products are targeting beauty problems, and we also made sure that these products are, of course, chemical free and made in natural ingredients. And yeah, and of course the products are proudly manufactured and made here in the Philippines.
What are some of the prevalent ingredients in your product lines? Like green tea?
Yeah, so as much as possible, like we want to always use local ingredients. So we always have like coconut oil, and of course we use papaya extracts. Like we always ensure that, let's say for chemical based product or ingredient, we always create or develop or make sure there is a plant-based counterpart. Say for whitening, there's a papaya extract, instead of using hydroquinone. But some of the ingredients though are sourced, in other countries. We have argan oil. We use argan oil in a lot of our products, and of course rosehip oil. It's also known ingredients. Yeah. So and we use moringa extract as well, or malunggay extract. So yeah.
Wow, I like the fact that it uses natural ingredients, no? So your promise that your body or skin won't be suffering through some harshness, so to speak.
Yes.
Diba? Like getting an allergy or whatever.
Right.
So, yeah. We were reading through some articles about you that were so inspiring. Text pa lang yun wala ka pa. Hindi ka pa nagsasalita or nagkikwento sa amin. You're a solo mom, and then you built a beauty empire from scratch. Can you tell us about your early beginnings? What were you into before you had the
Company.
One Earth Organics?
One Earth Organics.
Yeah.
Okay. To be
Long
honest,
story.
yeah. To be honest, again, I'm a single mom. I'm a proud single mom, and I had my son when I was only 18. And actually, I didn't even graduate 4th year high school. I don't have a college degree. That time, I was left with a choice to pursue my studies and get a college degree, or provide for my son and feed him. Of course, I chose the latter.
Yes.
And being I wasn't financially dependent on anyone, so it was just me, myself, and I. So I had to do that, and then and back then I remember 8 to 10 years ago, companies were so very particular in terms of having a college degree. And again, that was already a disadvantage on my end. And but I keep telling myself, you know what, not having a college degree. Not having a college degree will be a hindrance for me to provide for my son or for me to be able to give him a brighter future. So I just kept, believing in myself. I kept, believing in my capabilities, and I'd be like, in every job interview, I'd be like, I will ace this interview. And thankfully, and fortunately, there were companies who saw my potential. There were companies who gave me a chance, and also believed in my capabilities. I've had numerous jobs. Like, I've been a waitress in a Japanese cafe. I've been a call center agent. I've been a casino VIP host, and like a lot of jobs. And the last job I had was I was an executive assistant to one of the CEOs and country manager of a BPO company. So I am always just thankful that those companies gave me opportunities. But it was really difficult.
Must have been,
Oo
diba?
nga
You were
eh.
raising a child.
Did you always have that fighter
same-
mentality?
Yeah,
Or
very.
were you brought up that way? Or you were just pushed into this situation to have that mindset?
I guess when I was growing up, I grew up with my auntie and my grandmother. She already passed away a few years ago, so I miss her. And of course, my mom has always been there to support me. But my mom, she was working abroad at that time. And the women in my life, they've always taught me how to be independent. They never, they nurtured me, but also in a way wherein they taught me how to, go through all the difficulties, just so whatever happens, I'll be able to pick myself up and bounce back, stronger. So, and when you have a kid or when you have a child in such an early age, especially, 17, 18, I guess you'd have to do everything possible to survive and to be strong and to be resilient and just keep going.
Grabe, no?
Grabe siya.
Yeah. Kasi I can imagine 17, 18, early 20s. Usually, you just want to explore the world.
Yes.
You want to go out with friends, barkada mode, Friday night feels. Did you feel that you missed out on these things as a young adult?
Not really. Of course, I did have my share of parties when I was like 20s. My mom has been, there to support me and help me take care of my son, especially during his early years when he was I believe like his first 3 years, the toddler stage.
Yeah.
But I was always focused on, providing for my son and always just focused on, working. And it was funny though, like I love this question, and this is a true story because when my son turned 18 and
He's now 18.
yeah, he's actually now 19, turning 20.
Okay.
But when he turned 18, he was like, Mom, you've dedicated half of your life to me. It's about time that you have fun. You be single as much as you want. You enjoy your life. Yeah. So I think it's only like now. It's only I think the last 3-4 years that I get to relax and enjoy and just enjoy my time with my friends and so.
But Tiff, what was the turning point, diba?
When
When did you decide to become your own boss?
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna cry. Okay.
No.
I'm
And we
sorry.
apologize. Hindi kami nakapagpalalamove sa'yo ng tissue paper. Sayang.
I'm
Sorry.
sorry.
Next time we'll have it delivered.
Yeah, my son is such a wonderful son, and every time I talk about him, talagang there's always a pinch and talagang may hugot, and I would I would cry because I love him so much. So I think it was the time wherein we would always commute. He was still young and I didn't have a car then. We would always commute, going to his school, like going to malls, like everywhere. And And I would always like keep telling myself like I deserve to have a car and I deserve to drive my son to school. Or I would always just imagine and keep thinking like, he deserves so much more. And this is true story. We were at the grocery store one time, and I always tell my son like, love, we don't have enough money, so mom would always need to
Oh.
save up. So I didn't know that it kind of, he actually understood what I was saying. He was only like 4, 5, or 6 years old that time, and he was like, so we were at the grocery store, and then so he was running around, and then he shouted actually, parang actually nakakahiya. He was like, mom, like, I like this toy. Can you please buy me this? Like, when you have enough savings and when you have money, like, can you buy me this toy?
Oh.
So, those little things. And, like, I knew I had to do something. I knew I kind of like that. Then I wanted to just like, having him as my biggest motivation. And then I knew my calling was, to have my own business, because that's the only way for me to be able to, to thrive and provide for him more. So I would always like ask for science. That's why when I was given the opportunity to, become a reseller of a beauty product, I didn't have One Earth Organics then. I was still doing sideline, and then I was doing my job as an executive assistant. So I was kind of like serving two masters at the same time. I was working graveyard shift and then doing sideline. It was funny because I was so determined of having my own business that I also thought of like, should I just sell table napkins? Because like people always use table napkins. Or should I just like sell fish bowls and like have like a fishbowl cart in front of my house? Like I thought a lot about those things, because I was so determined of having my own business. And again, when I had that opportunity, I talked to my previous boss and I told him, hey, like I can't serve two masters at the same time. And I had a good relationship with my boss. Like I learned so much from him. And at first he didn't want to let me go, but then, I had to, I asked for signs. Like if I'm going to continue with my job and be practical, my job is actually paying for everything. Our rented house, my son's school, our food on the table. So if I'm going to be practical, I'm going to keep that job. But then I saw signs and I prayed and I told myself, but you know what? If this opportunity will not be given to me, if it's not going to be meant to be successful, so I resigned from my job. I took that risk, took that leap of faith, and again just continued to believe in myself and. What's gonna happen. But I remember I only had like few funds left in my bank account, which I was gonna use for my son's tuition fee. So so it's like, okay, never mind, I'm gonna take the risk. And so I did. And so that day
Here you are.
and the rest was history.
Yes.
Yeah. So we want to learn more about how you overcame those difficulties. And speaking of bank account, we read that you only had 37,500 pesos exactly to start the business and get it rolling. So we want to know that journey. But before that, let's pause a break while you wipe your tears and our tears also.
Magsha-shopping na lang ako! #143SM. Call to deliver. Hello, can you get the following? One pink chair, bed sheets, na pink yung soft ha, tapos slide, size 8, pajamas na blue. Oh, don't forget like #143SM. Call to deliver. Wait lang, okay ba yan?
Anything at the SM store, ma'am.
Call to deliver. Kuya, pwede rin ba ako magpa-deliver sa ate ko sa Taguig, tapos sa friend ko sa Davao, tsaka sa, cancel ko sa Lipa? Okay ba yan?
Kahit saan po, pwede kami mag-deliver.
Call to deliver. kayo.
Call to deliver.
And we're back.
Yes, and I'm Francine Marquez. I'm with my co-host, Miss Dina Ventura, and we're talking to Miss Tiffany Short of One Earth Organics. Before we had our break, we were asking her to tell us more about her journey in the business. Like she started with actually 37,500 pesos to get the business rolling. So, and everything else was founded on the Harvard Business School of Instincts and Hard Knocks. So, can you tell us more about how you did it?
When was
Yeah,
this?
Mm-mm.
Diba? What year?
Oo nga
What
eh.
year was that?
Yes, I guess like you mentioned like biggest challenges there. What like my life has always been full of challenges, and every year there are always challenges after challenges. But when I was starting, I guess one of the biggest would always be again finances, money, funds. Because I only have a few. My savings is not a lot. Yes, it was only 37,500 that time. And again, I was living my life paycheck to paycheck when I was working and always trying to make ends meet. Of course, I hindi naman kami mayaman. So when I saw that I only had 37,500 in my bank account, and the 37,500 pesos was to be used for my son's tuition fee down payment for the upcoming school year. So I again, like what I mentioned earlier, I kept praying and asking for signs. I was like, oh my gosh, if this business will not take off, my son won't be able to go to school. But I was like, okay, you know what? Sige, bahala na. And taking that risk and just having that faith, continuously believing, and looking at my son, I'm like, okay, anak, this is for you. Like I can do this, we can do this. So I took that money and funded our first few products. I think I was able to produce 50 sets of underarm therapy set.
Oh.
And I saw the opportunity. I used Instagram. It was one of my selling platforms. I was posting pictures of myself, and it was very challenging, educating people about organic products, because 8 to 10 years ago, people are not aware of natural and organic products. So that's also one of the biggest challenges, and of course, trying to educate them, trying to just continuously informing them that the ingredients will benefit them in the longer, in long term, and and then the rest was history. I took that. I was overwhelmed with the clients' response, and there were a lot of people buying from me from Instagram that I didn't even know. So I think the first 50 sets were sold out in like just a few days. So that's where the 37,500 went to.
Why do you think it was such a big hit? Di ba mahirap yun? Like,
Oo nga eh.
to come up with a product that's totally new and unfamiliar.
Yeah, in a sea of beauty
Yes,
products.
how
Diba?
did you do it? What did you do?
Oh.
It was funny because of course back then I didn't know about I wasn't thinking about the whole market and the being in the industry. I was more focused on again also at the same time addressing my own insecurities, and I guess so I was thinking, let's start with myself. And if it's going to be an avenue to help people through the products, why not? I guess it's also hit because people are not familiar with organic and natural. It was new to them. It was new to a lot of people, and especially also underarm set. And I remember not a lot of women would always admit their insecurities, especially the underarm. And I'm always so proud to say that One Earth Organics is actually one of the avenues to for women to talk about their their beauty problem or their biggest insecurities openly, and and have the mindset that if they talk about these insecurities, they're gonna inspire other people, give other people hope, and help people to actually address their concerns. So and the underarm selfie, I posted my underarm selfie, and I was thinking, you know what? People are gonna make fun of me because nobody was doing that before.
Yeah.
So I took all the courage and just posted my before and after selfie.
Oh,
Ayun, that's
Ano
the
yun eh?
secret yung
ano
guts.
nga, old school term dyan eh, kili-kili power.
Ayun.
Napaghalataan.
Unit power, and took that own feedback and just told my own feedback to a lot of people, and a lot of people were able to relate and like, oh my gosh, and so they tried it and it was
Nice.
effective for them. So yeah.
Oh,
worked.
yeah. Wow. So much inspiration and so much love happening. Tiff, you have a lot of messages here, a lot of likes, loves, hugs. Yeah, and there's one, Miss Joy and Christine. Thank you for listening to us. She said, "So proud of you, babe." Tiff short. Yeah, Joy and Christine. And thank you to Jay Zeltan for the hearts. So many of them. Lori Oweyo for the hearts and love. She had an emoji of a woman with hearts all over. And Ashley Villanueva, I'm happy and proud of you, ma'am. Tiff, good job. Good job daw. And Lester Chan, thank you also for tuning in and for the hearts.
Yeah.
Ang daming heart sign para sa'yo.
Oh, love.
From Nomer Cortez Carandang. Ang dami. We're being overwhelmed by hearts today.
Thank you.
I guess when you give love, you get love, right?
Yes. You get love back.
Anyway, so I guess also speaking of her journey, staying power, diba? Speaking of kili-kili power, yung
Yes.
staying power then is how effective your products are, diba? And we'd like to know more about how important the products of One Earth Organics during this pandemic. Yun. How important
Kasi, diba,
is organic
Yeah, because
to our wellness, diba
Oo.
ngayon?
Because right now, it's really all about trying to stay away from getting sick and staying well. And maybe
Yes.
putting the effects of putting masks unnecessary, essential, di ba? How do you,
Yes.
how
True.
are your products relevant to what we're dealing with right now?
Right now.
Right. Oh my gosh, pandemic, it has brought too much uncertainty for a lot of people, too much stress, and talaga, the mental health now is, just keeping your sanity and to be able to survive each and every day is also it's already a huge, again, achievement and an accomplishment. So I believe, I would say One Earth Organics would always be synonymous to the tagline, beauty without compromise. With the help of the products, it will help you, to continuously boost your confidence and focus more on, self-care and self-love and, just focus more in spending time with your family, focus more on your goals, your aspirations, your dreams, and you don't have to worry about whatever you're applying on the skin because you have this you're complacent that they're natural, they're good for your health, and again, beauty without compromise. In a way, you do not compromise your peace of mind, you do not compromise your health, and you do not compromise your loved ones. And so now I believe it's more of a just continuously One Earth Organics helping in self-care and self-love, because at the end of the day, for you to just get by every single day, it's always, it starts within you. It starts within yourself. So if you do not take care of yourself, especially with the help of our products, and thank you for mentioning wearing masks. I used to always wear the surgical mask, and it's true that you'll have breakouts on your chin, and so it's also the products would also help you, again, be a preventive measure to keep continuously, making you beautiful and confident. So.
Mm.
Naturally.
Yeah, another thing siguro that we learned during this pandemic are doing new ways, diba? Just so we can stay fit. Are there
Yes.
new ideas based probably on feedback from your users about that you might want to apply in your new product lines, if ever?
Yes. Every time we develop a product, especially for One Earth Organics, it takes a year or more. We do not just launch a new product just for the sake of what we're gonna get from it or what we're gonna profit from it. Everything has to go through careful research. Everything, like we listen to our clients, what they want, and their demands, and I believe it's basically just that, and and try to be innovative. So, and again, the products that I forgot to mention that I also have psoriasis, so I'm also dealing with my own skincare problems. So anything I put on my skin is also aggravating. So I always have to take into consideration like every women's skincare problem, every women's beauty problem. So again, just continuously empowering them and giving them confidence. That's actually one of the main ingredients to come up with a new product.
Oh, yeah. I suppose also kasi ang daming products right now, we're also into disinfecting, antibacterial, sanitation, trying to stay clean.
Yes. Yeah. Those, during the pandemic, we also had, the thought of like, okay, let's produce, like hand gels and produce blah, blah. But there are so many, as an entrepreneur, like how I produce products, it's not always, about going with a trend. If there are already other companies providing for, the clients, there are enough companies doing that, or, like companies who did it first. Like, I focus on my lane. So,
That's
so
good.
that
That's
time,
a good,
yes.
that's a good tip.
Produce hand gels, but there were a lot of companies doing that. That's their, market share. So we just had to, like wait it out, and then again do our own, research, and wait for our time to shine and produce the products that's gonna be loved, by the clients. Not just because of the need, but also because of the innovation and the careful research I put into it.
Speaking of that, so among your products, is it still the deos that are your top sellers?
Yes, it has I'd say a cult following. It's our hero products. That's where we started. Deo underarm set, because again, like what I mentioned, I was dealing with my own insecurities. So that time when I created the underarm set and the Deo, I was going through all the underarm problems you can think of. Sweat, discoloration, chicken skin. So, and I just thought that, there are going to be a lot of women who's going to be able to relate to me. So might as well help myself and help these women. So until now, I'd say it's our hero product. Like, people would always say they can't live without it. They panic. They usually they panic buy and just hoard the deos.
Yeah, because I guess people don't see it, but it also signifies freshness, no? That feeling of freshness or confidence.
Yes, true, Miss Francine. And I
Diba?
always say, like it's not just even if you have like gorgeous makeup and hair and
Oh.
stylish clothes, but if you're not confident with your underarms, there's so many things that you're so limited, and there's so many things that you cannot do.
True.
So like you can't even raise your arm if you're on the
Exactly.
waiter.
And then you get paranoid in the elevator.
True.
Although
true, like,
social
oh my
distancing
gosh.
na.
True. So I always believe, taking care of your underarms is also it should also be a routine, like how you take care of yourself. And if you're uncomfortable there, oh my gosh, you're gonna be worried and stressed, and you can't even go on a date for crying out loud. You want
I don't
Oh.
think anybody has ever talked about Dio in that way, di ba? Na
Oo
parang-
nga eh.
So
diba?
basic.
So, pwede na tayo mag-aspire, maging Ann Curtis Smith.
Yeah.
Diba? Ganun lang eh.
Yes.
And I guess, tama si Tiff, because you can really move around, di ba?
Yeah.
But,
Yes.
Oh, ayan na.
ayan na, like that. So I was gonna ask, Francine, kasi yung energy ni Tiff is so, nadadala ko eh, di ba?
Oo, tama.
We
Infectious.
were,
Oo.
infectious. She's glowing eh.
Mm-mm.
Parang hindi napapagod.
Oo.
So, we'd like to know how you successfully balance your life as a mom and as a multitasking lady boss.
Oo.
Oh my gosh.
How do you
To be
stay
honest,
fresh?
Oo,
Ganun eh.
kasi marami tayong mga babe boss na nag-a-aspire maging lady boss.
Yes.
Tips.
Wow.
Boss babe.
Boss babe, tama.
Boss babe, right?
Oo, how to be boss babe to lady boss.
Mhm.
It's so hard. The word balance, it's so hard to actually even apply it in my own daily life. I'll be honest. Like trying to stay fit, trying to be always like on top of your game, trying to attend all the meetings as much as I always want to be on top of things. I sometimes I'd be left with this choice where should I go to the gym, or should I just continue working? But then I always have to do a self-talk and keep reminding myself that, hey, there's so many people depending on you, so you need to also take care of yourself. So of course I would, choose to just go to the gym and try to work out for an hour. Even if sometimes it's really so hard and I get so stressed. And I remember one time, I think I yelled at my son because I was so stressed and I felt so bad. And after, later on I said sorry. and I knew I already had to, do something about it. And it's always especially now, so it's always about my mental health. So I have to keep that balance. And whether it's as simple as, calling out my friend, one of my best friends, doing a video call, spending time with my son every Sunday. We usually have a date, and that helps me. That balances me out. That it's kind of like a reset for me, and it fuels me to keep going and take on more responsibilities for the upcoming week. But it's really hard. And especially now, I'm a beach person. I would always want to go to the beach, but it's been more than a year that I haven't gone to the beach. So my outlet in, trying to stay balanced is pretty difficult, but I always try. I have to, for the many people depending on me, and of course for my son.
Mm-mm. Tell us, do you have any particular app, or do you prefer to write down your notes on paper? How do you try to keep it together? Are you dependent on tools, notebooks, whatever?
I'm very old school, so I love writing. If you look at my laptop bag, I have 3 notebooks and a planner. So I'm always the type of person to just write and write. I get easily, even with books, I love being able to hold a book and read them. So so I'm pretty old school. And then of course I have I have my assistant in Jai. Like, she takes good care of me. She helps me become more efficient, be more productive, and help me to just like stay on top of things. But yeah, so yeah, she's kind of like my planner as well. She helps me a lot.
All
She
bases
helps me a lot.
covered.
Yeah, no.
She helps me a lot. And then of course, like, yeah, I always like take down notes because I believe that our brain cells, it's not always capable to memorize everything or take in as many information. So I always make it a point that I write down everything. And what else? I think that's basically it. And and I always try to wake up like 4 or 5 in the morning.
Whoa.
So I want to have that head start and feel like no one's gonna disturb me and no one's awake that time. So I get to list down everything, priorities, and like ad hoc stuff and yeah, what I need to accomplish. So yeah, those things.
Oh, she's an early riser.
Oo, pero alam mo, all the tycoons I've read
Yeah.
about,
Ganun
media mogul
sila.
like Oprah Winfrey, Warren, they wake up at 4 a.m.
Ganon pala.
when
Sikreto.
everything is quiet.
Oo. Head
So,
start.
secret to ng mga millionaire, billionaires, trillionaires.
Oo. So Tiff, do you think being a woman
Mm-mm.
has makes a difference in terms of the way one runs a company?
Wow. No offense to the men out there.
Malapit na
Bale,
kasi Women's
tatlo lang
Month eh.
tayo today.
Yeah.
Just the
So,
three of
not
us.
just- yeah, to the men who'll be able to listen. But I always, according to the survey and according to Beyonce, women run the world.
Yes.
No, but seriously, I guess yes, I believe women are always more nurturing in that sense. And always and when you're more nurturing, when you deal with your employees or you deal with your coworkers or your partners, you're more open to collaboration, more open to feedback, you're more compassionate. I guess women are just like in nature like more understanding and would always commit to the mission and the vision of the company. So yeah, and I guess one way to say it is I believe there should be more diversity in terms of in the companies and more women should take on leadership and executive roles.
Yay! Tawag doon,
Yeah.
Kili.
Yes. Yeah.
Ayun.
So, you know what? But there's still a lot of women, kasi maybe young girls who think that they can't be up there, they can't break through that proverbial glass ceiling because they're women. What would be your advice to them? You can't do this, you can't do that because you're a woman.
Gosh, yeah.
Because you're a
if
girl.
if I had like a daughter, because I don't have a daughter. If I'm gonna say to the young girls, oh my gosh, do not listen to to the negative voices in your head and negative people around you, and just focus on your dreams and aspiration. In today's society, everything is equal, and whatever a man can do, you can also do it even better.
Baka may mga
like,
magalit.
just for the little girls, yeah. So
Inspiring talaga siya.
Oh, yeah. When you were younger, did anyone stop you? Why are you going to do this? Because you're a woman.
Oo
Did
nga,
it
no?
ever happen to you?
no, because again, I was surrounded by people who took care of me while I was growing up were women. My grandmother, my mom, my aunt. So they're all women, and I guess the men around me as well. Of course, my dad, but I didn't grow up with my dad. But they were always supportive, always supportive while I was growing up, Yeah, and I guess when I was young, even when I was with the father of the biological father of my son, I was a teenager. I already knew what I wanted. I was like, I'm not gonna live here forever. I'm not gonna marry this guy. I already had that instinct.
Diba?
I don't know
Yeah,
why.
yeah.
Ayun siguro yung another secret, no? Being
Yeah.
self-aware, knowing what you
Yeah.
want.
And
Ganon.
that whether you're in a relationship or not, you're always enough.
Yun.
Yes,
Diba?
always enough.
You're always
Yes, I've
enough.
learned so much about that. Like, yeah, that's a good message. You know, you're always enough. True.
Yeah, so girls,
Girls,
learn from
Yes,
Tiff
yes,
Short.
Tiff, it's been so much fun getting to know you. And
Thank you.
before we say goodbye, we'd like to ask if you have any message to give to our viewers today.
Yes. You know, as simple as it may sound, but never ever give up. I always tell that to myself, and I'm a person wherein I have been through so much, whether it's about business or my personal life or just being a single mom. And if you know, I always have to share, and I've had a lot of share of pain in this world, and if I always have to use that, if I always have to use my platform and my voice just to keep sharing my stories, to continuously, you know, give motivation, inspiration, and, you know, empowerment to a lot of people, and especially, you know, just for them to continue to be hopeful, then I will every single day. And of course, like, you guys should always surround yourself with the best people. If someone is being toxic and negative around you, you're allowed to cut them off. And with me, like, again, I have my son, my best friends, my family, my partners, our clients, and my employees, and you know, they keep me grounded, and I'm always grateful that I have them in my life. And of course, you know, just I really want for people to, you know, I want to be forever known as the woman who would always be a reminder to everyone to turn your pain into power, your wounds into wisdom, and of course, your struggles into success.
Ang galing-galing ng ating guest today,
Yeah.
Francine.
So, I take back my virtual tissue paper.
Tayo na lang.
Kami na lang.
So,
Wow.
so,
Tagos.
Tagos sa
Puso.
Katribo power.
Yes, katribo power.
So, Francine, we have to
Say
goodbye.
goodbye. But promise, we'll go out soon, Tiff.
Oh my gosh, thank you. Thank you again, Miss Francine, and of course, Miss Tina, for this opportunity, and of course, Daily Tribune. Like, again, this being here as a guest is already blessing enough for me, for us, and, you know, for everyone, depending on the brand. And again, so grateful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, so thank you very much, everyone, for watching and listening to the very inspiring story from Tiffany Short. I am Dina Ventura.
And I'm Francine Marquez.
And this has been PairFect.